The Weldco-Beales casing hammer is designed to support drilling through unconsolidated formations that include sand, gravel, boulders, clay, and glacial till. The design allows casing to be advanced while drilling. The drill pipe runs through a vertical passage in the center of the casing hammer. As the top drive rotates the drill pipe, air circulation removes the drill cuttings up the annular space between the drill pipe and the inside wall of the casing. The cuttings are then discharged through a fitting located at the base of the casing hammer. Applications for the Weldco-Beales casing hammer include water wells, groundwater monitoring wells, and remediation wells at hazardous waste sites. The hammer can also be used for pile driving and installing tieback anchors. The casing hammer's drill-through feature permits drilling and driving of casing to proceed simultaneously. Or, if the conditions allow, drilling and driving can be controlled independently to effectively penetrate diverse formations. As the drilling progresses, the casing advances. With precise operator control, the energy output of the hammer and number of blows per minute can be varied to adjust to the geological formations encountered below the surface. A single mechanical valve controls the air distribution. A simple adjustment to the casing hammer and removal of the top anvil collar will allow updriving for casing withdrawal. A water well project outside Nampa, Idaho demonstrates the casing hammer's application. The casing hammer is raised along the top head rotary drive to the top of the mast. The casing shoe is installed, and the drill pipe and casing are lifted into the mast and placed under the casing hammer. The new section of casing is aligned with the one already in the borehole. In water well applications, the two pieces of casing are welded together. Drilling and driving progresses simultaneously. Air operation allows finite control over the hammer to tap through boulders, pound through unconsolidated formations. In overburdened formations, the driller can use downhole air hammers or tricone bits to drill while driving the casing. With control over the drive energy, the driller can eliminate damage to the casing and drive shoe. The use of the hammer eliminates expensing tripping time of the drill pipe as the casing follows the drill bits. Drilling typically proceeds 2 to 5 feet ahead of the casing. Then the casing hammer is activated and driven down to meet the drill bit. Drilling produces excellent formation samples, which are returned from the bit face up the smooth annulus between the drill pipe and casing instead of a rough or eroded borehole. Samples are more accurate, and small aquifers are readily detected, and ascending air velocity is easily predicted. In this water well example, the formation samples are returned through the discharge hose. In hazardous waste applications, the samples are returned through the discharge hose and collected in an approved collection and sample barrel. Small aquifers of less than 1 gallon per minute can be easily detected. Hazardous waste site drilling often requires formation samples many times at 2 to 5 foot intervals. Flush-threaded casing is used to save time and casing installation and to avoid safety issues when drilling in landfills where methane gas may be encountered. All Weldco-Beales casing hammers can drive upward for casing withdrawal. This is especially advantageous in groundwater monitoring boreholes, allowing the driller to retrieve and reuse the threading casing. It is important to note with the Weldco-Beales casing hammer, there are no hydraulics used, which eliminates the risk of contaminating the water well. Dave Adamson from Adamson Pump and Drilling shares his experience working with the Weldco-Beales casing hammers.
They do us a good job because they're heavy and they beat real good. I have good control with it, and it just works well. One of the things I like is the big discharge tee. It has a lot of room for you to get the gravels and the materials up and out, away from where you're drilling so you can continue. I like the weight of the casing hammer. I like the seal on top. I especially like the swing out system. You can actually take the casing hammer and swing it right out of the road. And then you've got a full open throat to work on your well, to put your screens in, to do what you need to do, to measure your well, whatever. And when you need to work with your casing hammer, it swings right back in and you're working again quick and fast. We try and hit it as little as possible, and the weight carries it on down really good. sometimes we have to beat the snot out of it to get it going. And sometimes when you get deep, it's really important. And this is a big casing hammer, and it'll do a tremendous job. And you have to make sure your welds are good. We go around our casing 3 times. We use diamonds, and we do everything I can to keep our casing together. We keep real good care of our casing going down the hole, and I think that's important. We have 4 rigs, and they each have 1321 casing hammers on them. And our first rig had an older Weldco-Beales casing hammer on it. And it just worked really good for us. We had to do a few repairs on the old system, and it just worked well. And so as we've progressed over the 20 years, our rigs have gotten newer. We've gotten into the hydraulic rigs, and we have great rigs, and they've been a real challenge for us. But on each one, we put a 1321 casing hammer. We have chosen the 1321 because the casing hammer that we had worked so well. We have not used a lot of competitors' casing hammers. We don't have a lot of experience with that. And as we're going along, improving our rigs and putting casing hammers on, the 1321 Weldco-Beales worked so well for us that we decided that we should stick with what we've got. And truly, I'm glad that we did. If I had it to do again, I'd just go back and get the same thing and do it over again.
When considering a casing hammer, we encourage you to ask the following questions. Weldco-Beales offers complete mounting packages for most standard top drive rotary drills, along with installation support. Forcing casing down pre-drilled holes at a later time can cause costly damage to the casing or shoe. Using the Weldco-Beales hammer, casing simultaneously penetrates the hole directly behind the drill bit, minimizing excess strain and forces that can potentially damage the casing or shoe. Soils, clay, glacial till, sand, gravel, and other unconsolidated formations can be drilled at high rates with a Weldco-Beales casing hammer. Even boulder-filled formations can be effectively penetrated. Because the casing protects the hole from erosion, high penetration rates can be achieved with a casing hammer, with a fraction of the air volume normally required. The drill-through casing hammer's design makes it easy to pull casings without re-rigging or reversing the hammer. This is accomplished by simply turning one easily accessible selector valve, removal of top anvil collar, and increasing air pressure. Weldco-Beales casing hammers develop more driving energy than any hammer on the market to drive casing to greater depths through the toughest drilling formations. Weldco-Beales manufactures a hydraulic lift mounting system to raise and lower the casing hammer. A hydraulic swing jib is also supplied, which allows the hammer to be swung out of the mast, allowing the driller to safely take formation samples, or remove the hammer from the mast to support other applications. Weldco-Beales manufactures and sells 3 casing hammer models. Model 615 will install 4-inch through 12-inch casing. Will handle casing between 6-inch and 12-inch. And the Weldco-Beales 1321 hammer offers the power necessary to drive 6-inch through 24-inch casing. Key features on all models include a mechanical valve that eliminates freezing and sticking, a top seal that prevents drill cuttings from escaping, updriving capacity with simple adjustments, parts that are common between all models, no lubrication requirements in the air system, a variable stroke, variable impact energy in blows, and adaptability to most top drive rotary drill rigs. For more information on the Weldco-Beales line of casing hammers, please contact our Tacoma office or visit us online at www.weldco-beales.com.